The very oldest language on the face of this earth. Chico Kikabia Mapuni, Chineke, and Son of the Isala, Nina Cosa Hansoya, Nana Jama, and Yana Faros, Oponana, all the and then saw no totua nyaba no wanene Because you will make that with your source and we're not going But you know what? I would like you to know that America is the cause of it. No. I am the solution, and the only way they can get to you is by kicking me out, which is not possible. I have come. Look with you. After I am done with Nigeria, Biafra will be free and enjoy freedom. Biafra will know the importance of freedom and what I'm doing in 5 years to come. Thank you. The very oldest language on the face of this earth. Chico Kikabia Mapuni, Chineke, and Son of the Isala, Nina Cosa Hansoya, Nana Jama, and Yana Faros, Oponana, all the and then saw no totua nyaba no wanene and you were not young. Because you will make a difference with your source and you will not do it. But you know what? They would like you to believe that America is the cause. No. I am the solution, and the only way they can get to you is by kicking me out, which is not. I have come. Look what you do. After I am done with Nigeria, Biafra will be free and enjoy freedom. Biafra will know the importance of freedom and what I have to do in 5 years to come. Thank you.
Of a black man is the way that we reason. If not that the way we reason is very, very abhorrent, there is no need or reason why we should be suffering and complaining every blessed day without the courage to do something about it. Some of you tried to do something about it with the End SARS protest, but some of us quickly, or should I say some of you quickly capitulated because of your tribal affiliations or religious considerations. They managed to divide each and every one of you. But today you must make up your mind what you want to do. Do you want to change your lives, or do you want to continue residing in a damnable zoological republic with no hope, way, or means out of the mess that you're in? Why can't we change our lives? Those who are telling you that the revolution is not the best way to go about it, ask them, how come Russia is advanced today? How come the United Kingdom, Britain is advanced today? How come Germany is advanced today? How come France is advanced? How come Spain is advanced? How come the United States of America, of course the greatest country on this very earth, is where they are today? Is because in each and every of these countries there was a revolution. Either a violent overthrow of a very corrupt and inept regime, or there was what I would refer to as intellectual revolution. In Africa, none of these appears to be present at the moment. Those of them that commenced the End SARS protest tried as much as they can, but the forces that we overwhelmed them, the forces of darkness, the forces of hate, the forces of retrogression, the forces of iniquity prevailed, especially with the help of their journalists and their media houses. But this time around, we must prepare ourselves. But before we do so, we must ask this very important question. Are we all prepared for this very change that is about to come? Are we mentally tough enough to withstand all the garbage that will be thrown at us? Are you strong enough to jettison every emotional consideration that has to do with tribe, ethnicity, or religion? Once we are able to overcome all of this nonsense, believe you me, this very next phase of revolution will stand very, very strong. Everybody knows that Nigeria is a scam, a very big one. Nigeria is being run by an extremist bunch of dictators called the president. All of you know this. Everybody understands this very fact that Buhari is no more. You know that Buhari is dead, everybody knows. But those still perpetuating this very myth that Buhari is alive are those pinning their hopes on 2023. So this is a collection of odd bedfellows. These are people who are determined by every means available to cling on to power, to continue to impoverish you, to continue to allow terrorists from all across the Sahel to occupy your farmlands and your forests. They rape your mothers, they abduct your sisters, they kill your traditional rulers, they kill the daughters of your prominent men, and you do nothing about it because their only consideration is to keep you focused on this very elusive, better Nigeria to come. You and I know that Nigeria can never ever be better. We know that very well. The whole world understands that Nigeria can never ever be better. Why are you pinning your hopes on it? You're pinning your hopes on it so you can go to Dubai like Atiku and the rest of them and buy houses for your wives and your concubines. You are doing so because you think it's the turn of your village to eat money. And I have consistently asked this question. Biden, that has just been confirmed as the US president, is he from your village? Boris Johnson from the United Kingdom, is he from your village? Is Angela Merkel? So you keep on supporting evil in the zoo, the more your land will be taken from you. The more your daughters will be raped and abducted, the more your sons will be slaughtered in cold blood. And under one Nigeria, there is nothing you can do about it. Absolutely nothing. Because one idiot that they groomed will rise up and say to you, oh no, it's one Nigeria, there is crime everywhere. Haven't you heard about Zamfara? Haven't you heard about Katsina? There is crime everywhere. That is not the case. The crimes you have in the north, the insecurity you have in the north is as a direct consequence of their own action. They grouped them. Al-Qaeda in the Maghreb, ISIS in West Africa, Boko Haram, Fulani headsmen, bandits, all of them. Who brought them to Nigeria? It's Fulani. Fulani brought them into Nigeria. El-Rufai brought them in. Why did the government brought them in? Are you people deaf and dumb and stupid? When you come out and you pretend, oh, we are one Nigeria, go and show. Somebody was asking, where is the boundary, where will the boundary of Biafra begin? And I asked the fool, where did the boundary of Nigeria begin? People from Niger come in and go as they like. Most of these idiots are from Niger. They are building a pipeline to Niger. They are building a railway line to Niger. They are building roads to Niger. Whereas where the money comes from, which is Biafra land, we don't have those infrastructure. No, we don't. But you're taking our money. You come to Zone, you come to Onadi, you come to everybody, you come to Agulere, you come to Ebo, you take our resources, sell it, get the money, and now you're building a way to Niger, and you want me to be happy with you. Clap for you, one Nigeria. That's think you are insane. You come to my land, you take our oil, you take our gas, you take our bumper, you take everything, our VAT, our tax, everything. You are now building a road from Katsina to Niger. Airport to Niger. Refinery to Niger. Take oil from my land, you take it to Niger, you refine it, you bring it back to me as a refined petroleum. And you're telling me that country is viable. You're telling me that Nigeria should be supported. You are in one Nigeria. You are not going anywhere and you're dying every day. Because those that they appointed to speak for you, they gave them money so that they will come out. Pages of the newspaper to give the world giving the impression that everything is okay when things are go and see the contradictions in it. Nigeria is not working. We are marginalized. And then you come back to say Nigeria is one. You must stay in it together. Are you not foolish? These are the useless intellectuals that you have. On one hand, say Nigeria is not working. You are marginalized. You are being discriminated against. You are suffering. They are killing you everywhere. And you come back to the same place and say Nigeria must be one. Had Nigerians gotten together to say they want to be part of this useless contraption, that's entirely their business. So I'm a Democrat, I'm subscribed to it. But have you asked yourself this question? Why is it that all those asking you to remain in one Nigeria has something to gain from Nigeria, or they have benefited in the past? Nothing more, nothing less. I saw the letter that Herbert wrote to President Biden. In it, Herbert said, come and help us fight terrorism in order to ensure that there will be no regional destabilization. That is their game plan at the U.S. State Department for very many years until we stepped in. They keep plotting out these lies. Once Nigeria breaks up, there will be destabilization in the entire region. I said that because you don't understand African history. Most of these people are not people. When I say they say I'm insulting them. No, I'm not insulting you. Most of them are people. In Africa, we are tribal creatures in Africa. In Africa, we are tribal creatures in Africa. We always go back to our village where our umbilical cord, how long, where it was buried. That's where we come from. That is why every Christmas, Easter, New Year festival, or August meeting, you see us migrating back to where we come from. And I keep saying these things to Africans, they don't understand it. They don't understand it. Everywhere in Africa during Christmas, if you like, be in South Africa, if you like, let it be in Kenya, you let it be in Rwanda, everybody from the capital goes to the village. If you go to Accra, the same thing happens. This past Christmas, if you like, go to Cotonou. And we are going to pray as it is customary for us to do here. If you want to see me live, should I say, no, yeah, see me, I should say, not just hear my voice. You go to my Instagram handle, I should say. It is Mazinamdekano _, you know, the slash that is at the bottom, _ official. A lot of people, I wouldn't say a lot of people, there are about, how many of you? I think about 99 people are now watching. Am I correct? Yes, I think roughly about that. And it's owned by Facebook as well, incidentally, so it won't surprise me if they try to kick us out sometime during the course of this very, I should say, enlightening program this very evening. Once again, I welcome each and every one of you. And before we proceed, we are going to pray. As it is usual with us here on this platform, we pray because we are nothing without the Almighty. We are going to offer praise and adoration to Him as always. And I will, of course, should I say, unfailingly pray in the language of heaven. Some may misunderstand, some of them may try to misconstrue, but one thing is certain right now, in the presence of the Almighty God, Elohim, Adonai, El Shaddai in heaven, the angels are singing, worshiping, and praising the Most High with the very oldest language on the face of this very earth, the Igbo language. And that's how I'm going to pray. Ezi onye nwe anyị na Chineke nna nke pụrụ m ihe niile, Chukwu okike abịa ma bụ onye anyị na-efe na-agọzi aha nsọ ya, onye ọ bụla ya na-achị, onye mmụọ na mmadụ na-erubere isi, onye ọ bụla ya bụ ọka aka ụbọchị ene ka anyị na-etuga eze ebube dị ngọzi, mmalite na ọgwụgwụ, ndị gboo wee tuo oge ebighị ebi, onye nwe m ụmụ gị wee gbakọọ n'ụwa niile iwe nara ozi ọma nke gị onwe gị n'ezi ha site n'ọnụ mmadụ dị ndụ nna nke ebere dị ngọzi. Anyị wee na-asị na onweghị ihe ọbụla nke anyị onwe anyị bụ n'ihi na ọ bụ anụkpa ahụ sọsọ ka mmadụ dị ndụ bụ ofu ụbọchị anyị ga-anwụ, maka na okwu nsọ gị na-adịrị ma ruo mgbe ebighị ebi, n'ihi na okwu gị niile ga-abịarịrị na mmezu. Ọ bịa mere Biafra ga-eji wee bịa na mgbe nke anyị wee na-akpọkụ wee na-arịọ gị na-asị lekwa ude nke anyị na-asụ n'akwa nke anyị na-ebe ka o metụta gị n'obi. Onye nwe m na Chineke nna nke igwe, biko dịka isi wee napụta ụmụ gị n'ọbụ n'Ijipt kwetu wee wezuga ụmụ gị bụ ndị Biafra mgbe ekwensu bụ zuu nke mmadụ dị ndụ kere, anyị wee na-aja gị mma na-asị gị n'ime ọnọdụ anyị niile anyị ga-ekele ha nsọ gị, wee nye gị nsọpụrụ n'ụtụ na eji ama mgbe niile, n'ihi na anyị enweghị chi ọzọ ewezuga gị, anyị onwe anyị anaghị efe arụsị. Ọbịa mere iji wee na-agọzi nzọmụkwụ anyị niile, ọbịa mere IPOB ji wee gbaa mgbọrọgwụ n'ụwa niile, anyị anaghị atụ egwu mmadụ dị ndụ, anyị wee na-eto gị eze ebube dị ngọzi, sị gị biko gbatara anyị ọsọ enyemaka. Ọ bụ naanị gị bụ onye anyị na-efe nwanyị akpa isi ala nye ka i wee napụta ndị gị n'ọbụ nke ekwensu. Anyị wee na-enye gị ofe na nsọpụrụ na ija mma, na-asị lekwa ka ndị iro anyị niile ka kasisi wee baa ha ọnụ, ha wee daa hapụghị ikuni ọzọ. Obodo ekwensu bụ zu ala nwekwa n'iyi eze ebube dị ngọzi. Anya ọnwa anyị bụ ụmụ gị wee na-akpọkwa ha nsọ gị, na-asị na enweghị chi ọzọ ewezuga gị. Anyị wee na-aja gị mma wee na-eto gị, na-asị onye kere ihe niile kere eke mana onwe onye kere, na otuto niile na nsọpụrụ niile na ịja mma niile site n'ebighị ebi mara ebi ka a na-arịọ gị. Ise ise ise. Having handed over our proceedings to heaven, we must therefore proceed unfailingly and very speedily to preach this very gospel that we have been mandated to preach this very day, because heaven and earth will bear us witness that they came in their time and the gospel of redemption was preached and men were saved from their folly. This evening I will start by calling upon Bishop Coker, or should I say all the Catholics around the world, to please warn Bishop Coker to desist from making statements and comments that will annoy God Almighty in heaven. If he continues in the manner that we have deduced he is likely to follow, then I will place curse on him in public. I'm not saying this very lightly, because he is a man that I have enormous regard and respect for. Bishop Coker, I respect him, I love him immensely. But he came up with some statements which are, should I say, unbecoming of a sensible, reasonable human being. Therefore, he must retrace his steps. We must also remind ourselves that a few days ago, I said something about those of them trying their damnedest best to try to keep Nigeria together, a zoological republic that should not exist in the first place. And this evening, I want to reinforce this very fact, that the curse that I placed upon United Kingdom, a people that I revere and I love very much, people that I hold their citizenship and have sworn allegiance to, and will continue to defend their interest, genuine interest, of course, because I am an Anglophile at heart. That very Britain today, it is not been up to 7 days that I made that statement live here on air. The leader of the Welsh people have come out to make a categorical statement that Britain no longer exists in their own thinking. This is what I want to guide the thinking of all our people. I want it to guide our understanding of what is happening in the zoo and to understand also the spiritual dimension which we have chosen to pursue this very noble cause. According to Mark Drakeford, who is the leader of the Welsh people in the UK, and I quote, "The United Kingdom is over," he said. UK, as I told you a few days ago, that anybody who has a hand or who is trying to keep Nigeria together, their kingdom or their entity will disintegrate. These are the things that I want you to understand this very evening, that Nigeria has expired. The wrath of Almighty God is upon Nigeria. Look at Tinubu, for example, what the Yorubas are going through on his account. Look at how the Christian minorities in the north are being slaughtered and brutally massacred by the Janjaweed elements of the caliphate. Because the likes of Bishop Coker is there preaching unity that he knows doesn't exist. Because Britain is directly involved in trying to keep together what God Almighty has rendered asunder. That is the reason why Mark Drakeford has come out to say that United Kingdom is over. He's a very heavyweight politician in the UK, the leader of the Welsh people. He is the first minister of the Welsh people. Wales, of course, in the UK is a principality. And mind you, Prince Charles is supposed to be the Prince of Wales, or should I say, the titular head of the government of Welsh people. But here we have Mark Drakeford saying it categorically that Britain is over. And I want Britain, if you continue to meddle in the affairs of Nigeria to the extent whereby you are presenting a stumbling block to the emancipation of the children of God, the children of light, United Kingdom will be decimated. Because you're very proud and very arrogant, because you think that you're Caucasian, you're white, you can do anything and get away with it. You may think that the disintegration of the UK has nothing to do with Biafra, but I can assure you categorically that it has. If you do not stop meddling in Nigeria, if you do not stop this, your, should I say, perverted, racist devotion to keeping people who shouldn't be one together in one monstrous entity called the Zoological Republic of Nigeria, believe you me, God Almighty in heaven will destroy Britain beyond recognition. And it started to happen already. It is happening already. I warned you and I told you. You may disregard the agitation for Biafra and tag it as nothing. Because you came, you saw, you conquered and you colonized. But I'm warning you today, if you continue, the wrath of God will be upon you. As I warned the zoo many, many years ago, if you don't allow we Biafrans to go, that zoological republic called Nigeria will be a worse place than Somalia. And today it is happening. And if you have not applied for your Somalian visa, please try and do so. Should I say Somali visa? Try and do so as quickly as possible, because the zoo is on the path of destruction. And there is nothing man can do to reverse it. Mark today's date and what I'm telling you. Nigeria will be destroyed beyond human comprehension. So says the Lord of hosts. Anything I tell you here is gospel. Anything I open my mouth to tell you must come to pass. Because Almighty determined that we should come. And we have come to preach this very gospel in truth and in every honesty. And I want Britain to understand this today. If you stand as an obstacle on the path of Biafra freedom, you will be destroyed. The same way that the late dead Buhari tried. Buhari tried to stop Biafra from coming. Today he's in a shallow grave in Saudi Arabia. Not only that, that kingdom he was trying to build is now shaking. That very kingdom, that very Fulani caliphate, the Fulani takeover of Nigeria is in tatters. Because we are here, or should I say, Chukwokika Biama determined that we should come. And nothing, absolutely nothing is going to stop us from performing the will of the Almighty. Today, I can tell you categorically that in the United Kingdom, the First Minister of Wales, part and parcel of this United Kingdom that colonized, enslaved, subjugated, and still colonizing the zoo called Nigeria till today, a part of Britain have now said that they're going to divide. They will leave. Scotland will leave. Wales will leave. Northern Ireland will join the Irish Republic. And you only have the Little England at last. And when all these things are happening to them because of their pride and ego, they will not acknowledge that the work they did against the children of God in Biafra land is what is responsible for their demise as a once great nation or a once great people. They are also on the path of decline, and nothing can reverse it unless they stop meddling in the affairs of Biafra. The United Kingdom is over, and a new union should be crafted to reflect a voluntary association of 4 nations. In other words, Britain will no longer exist. You have England, you have Wales, you have Scotland, and you have Northern Ireland. The reason for that is because they meddled in the affairs of the children of God. As I told you earlier, Almighty God in heaven has a way of punishing his children, and we have been roundly punished, believe you me. If you have to be subjugated under the very cruel, barbaric rule of Fulani Janjaweedism, you will understand what we are talking about. As I'm speaking to you right now, most villages are under siege. There are killings and rapings, abductions and murder going on right across the length and breadth of the Zoological Republic. But they cannot understand what is happening to them. They know that the problem of insecurity in Nigeria is intractable for the simple reason that they have failed, should I say, to allow Biafra to go. The sooner they understand this or realize this, the better for everybody. But I'm not sure they will, because they are very stubborn, and as God hardened the heart of Pharaoh to fail, so are they also going to fail. And that is why those of them who are in Benue State, that is why the likes of Governor Autumn or the very young man who was mouthing his rubbish a day or 2 ago concerning the deployment of Eastern Security Network into Lower Benue is in for a very, very difficult and horrible experience of their lives. I must warn also Governor Autumn of Benue State. I am not laying claim to Benue State, the entirety of Benue State, not at all. What I'm making very clear to you is that there are Igbo people, Igbo communities, not traders, not migrants, not settlers, no. These are our traditional towns, communities, and villages wickedly gerrymandered into the north. That you have Igbo people today answering Igbo names, speaking Igbo language, who are answering to Northerners. An abomination before God Almighty in heaven. I will not allow it to continue. Those Igbo-speaking parts of Benue State is part and parcel of Biafra, part and parcel of the eastern region. And should anything happen to them, if you fail to control Fulani incursion into that very territory, then ESN will continue to do their work. And I have commended them earlier and allow me to do so again at this very moment. I commend the men and women, not just of our high command, but also of the Eastern Security Network that successfully pursued and apprehended a notorious Fulani bandit by the name Mohammed Issa. We have the videos. For those of them claiming he's an old man, they're all lying, and they know it very well. He is the leader of a gang of abductors, of rapists, and of murderers, tormenting our farming communities. But I'm glad to report this very evening, morning or night, depending on where you are, that menace, that threat has been permanently put to bed. It will no longer happen. Should our people in Benue State be subjected to further attacks, I am also informing Governor Autumn of Benue State. I will make sure that ESN returns to that very area. Or should I say, come out of the bushes to confront whoever comes against the children of the Most High God, Elohim in heaven. This is a warning to all of you. For those of you that specialize in, should I say, in twisting the obvious, in turning truth into lies, I never claimed the whole of Benue State. You people carved Igbo people into Benue, which is unacceptable. We are in an era, not that of the old, compromised and discredited Ohaneze Ndiara and Ndioshu. Not in that very era. No, we are not in that anymore. We are not in the era of compromised governors in the pocket of the Fulani Caliphate. No. We are now in the era of IPOB. And no inch of territory belonging to traditional, should I say, ethnicities making up Biafra will be surrendered to anybody. No. And in Benue State, we have taught them, while they were discussing that, don't come to Benue, we are already on the ground in Benue State, in Lower Benue. And we are not in Benue State that doesn't belong to us. We are in Igbo parts of Benue State, Igbo communities of Benue State. And we are there to defend them, and that is precisely what we are going to do, and nobody is going to discourage us otherwise. We are making it very clear today that the Eastern Security Network is on the ground. We are on the ground in Benue State, and in every part of Biafran for that matter. We are in Cross River, we are in Akwa Ibom, we are in Bayelsa. Everywhere it is happening. Anywhere we confront Fulani headsmen, these terrorists, we will drive them away. Be rest assured, we are not going to rest one iota until our farmlands, our homes, and our forests are secure. What is happening in Yoruba land cannot happen in Biafra land. Nobody, no idiot can come from anywhere to claim any inch or parcel of Biafran forest. It is not doable. Instead, we all die there. That is why I am making this presentation live, at least for those of you who may be able to come over on Instagram, that I am on Instagram and I'm live. If you want to see a live video of this very broadcast, it is there. You can and should be able to see it. Anywhere in Biafra land we confront Fulani terrorists, we shall meet them head on. We know that they are part of the police and the army. Danjuma himself, General T.Y. Danjuma himself, testified before the British Parliament that the army of Nigeria and the police are colluding in the conquest of indigenous populations in Nigeria. And we are no exception to that very horrible and sinister conspiracy. The police we have in our land are terrorists in uniform. The army we have in Biafra land are basically terrorists. They are there to aid and to support Fulani Janjaweed advancement to the Atlantic Ocean. And we are there to stop them, and we are stopping them, and will continue to stop them. A few days ago, as I said, we embedded our men and women of the Northern Command of Eastern Security Network. When we said Northern Command, people were confused. Biafra land is a nation. We have Northern Biafra, we have Central, we have the South, which is the coastal region, we have the East, and we have the West. When I talk about the Northern Command, I'm talking about the northern part of Biafra land, which incidentally starts from Benue State. So we are right to be there. If you don't want us to be in Benue State, quietly go back to Abuja and appeal to them. Tell them to release Igbo people in Benue and carve them back into Ebonyi State, where they should belong, or Enugu State, as the case may be. Therefore, anybody, you know, one thing about Nigeria is that they tend to defend the aggressor. It is in their DNA in Nigeria to always support evil. That is why this very newspaper publication, I don't have a means of putting it here on Instagram where I am broadcasting live, where you can see my face and my facial expression, but it will be on my Facebook page. If you go there, you will see it. This publication was made on January 23 of 2021, this very year. It is a front page news by Vanguard. I want you to understand how an average Nigerian thinks, how they reason, why I think that Nigeria itself is a curse upon humanity. There on the front page, you will see, we will kill all policemen and take over Edo State. Fulani Janjaweed, those they claim are foreigners. These people they told us are foreigners. They come from Mali, from Senegal, from Gambia, from heaven knows where, from Niger, from Chad, from Northern Cameroons. But they are in Nigeria, killing people. After killing us, they will not turn around and tell us to absorb them into our communities. That is why anybody, any Igwe, any PG, any greedy, avaricious fool, stupid enough to give any of our land to Fulani Janjaweed, you are finished. There was a man in Enugu that tried the same nonsense. Go and ask him where he is today. We take no prisoners. You see, the land of Biafra must be defended at all cost. At all cost. It is the land of God, given to his children for their eternal habitation. We may have failed in the past to recognize this very fact, but now that this generation has come, There is nothing anybody can do to stop us from restoring the kingdom of God upon the face of this very earth in the land of Biafra, without apologies to anybody. I understand that the Sarikin Fulani of Lagos went to see the U.S. ambassador to Nigeria in Lagos a few days ago. And according to the message, or should I say information coming out of the U.S. mission, they said is to foster cohabitation and unity, that diversity is strength. And I want to lay that particular nonsensical narrative to bed tonight before I continue any further. Anybody telling you about strength in diversity, that person is a liar and a deceiver. And the U.S. ambassador is a liar and a deceiver. One thing they don't teach we Africans is this. No country exists on a foundation of multiculturalism. There is nowhere in the world. Listen to me very carefully. All this nonsense, even the crap that Coca was coming up with, telling you about diversity is our strength and all that rubbish. Allow me to repeat, there is no country on this earth that survives on a foundation or a bedrock of multiculturalism. It doesn't exist. That is why multiculturalism in Africa is dead on arrival. It can never work. Because we are tribal beasts by nature. We are tribal by nature. That is why we travel from wherever we are during New Year's, during Christmas, during Easter, during New Year Festival to go back home where we come from. Because that is where we identify with. Now, let me ask the U.S. ambassador a very simple question. Is United States of America a multicultural society? U.S. that was created and built by Western Europeans. U.S. was created, should I say, created by God, of course. Built by Western Europeans. Mostly English people that was fed up with the way of life of the English monarchy. They went to America on Mary Rose. I want to ask the U.S. ambassador, I want to teach Africans what they don't know this evening. There is no country that functions on this multi-ethnic rubbish. Nowhere in the world. Not even the USA, that was created by people who are not indigenous to America. The owners of the soil of America are Native American Indians. That is a fact of life. God gave America to Western Europe to develop and gave them a special grace to be the beacon and the light and the conscience of the world. Because God knew that if he had left all these wonderful people in Europe, they would become contaminated. He removed them from Europe, sent them to America, built a wonderful nation as a shining light and a beacon for the whole world to look up to. Even that America that was built from scratch by people who are not indigenous to the land is not multicultural. Why am I saying this? America was founded on the principles of Judeo-Christian, Greco-Roman, democratic value systems. I repeat, America is not multicultural. They accommodate other races and other nations. Yes, they can accommodate you. But where you're coming into, the bedrock, the foundation of America is based on Judeo-Christian principles, Greco-Roman political ideology, which is republicanism. America is not multicultural. America is Western Europe. The value systems of Western Europe, Judeo-Christian, Greco-Roman, Republican governance. Had America been a multicultural society, they would have space for Sharia. I'm now addressing the U.S. ambassador to try to tell them to stop deceiving people. We are educated, we went to school for a reason. We are enlightened and we have our brain intact. There is no country on this earth that runs on this wishy-washy multiculturalism. It doesn't happen. What you have are established order and value systems upon which various cultures can now coexist. If you go to America, you coexist under the provisions of the United States Constitution. And the U.S. Constitution is a Christian constitution, not Islam. America is not multicultural, but under that bedrock of liberty and egalitarianism, you allow other cultures to come in But first of all, they must swear allegiance to or take an oath to uphold the Constitution of the USA. That is something that the US ambassador never told the Janjaweed that went to visit her. The same way that Nigeria cannot function as a viable entity. Wole Soyinka knows what I'm talking about. I'm even sure somebody who claims he's learned, as Bishop Coker is, understands what I'm talking about. No country on this earth. The value system of the state of Israel is based on Judaic principles. The value system of Russia is entirely theirs, it's based on theirs. It's the Russian way of doing things from times of the Tsar. If you go to Saudi Arabia, it is essentially a Sharia Islamic state. You can live there, no problem. You can build your churches if you want. I think they've not started to allow churches to be built. But it is never a multicultural society. Japan is not a multicultural society. China is not. They can accommodate you, but that doesn't mean they are This is the type of nonsense they feed Africans. And we fall for that very gimmick of multiculturalism. At the end of the day, you end up with a useless contraption like Nigeria. You don't have any value system that anybody anywhere can define. If I talk about the USA, I can talk about hamburger in the USA. We can talk about, what else do they have in the USA? Hamburger, you can talk about, what's it called? What are the traditional dishes? Apple pie and all the rest of it. You can say that these are American dishes. If you go to the UK, you can talk about maybe mashed potato and bangers and mash, which is sausage and mashed potato as their national meal. That's understandable. But I ask you, if you come to Nigeria, what is the national dish of Nigeria? Does a Fulani Janjaweed eat ofe egusi, where we come from? Does an Igbo man eat a wedu soup? The answer is no. So on what basis is all this so-called multicultural foundation going to be laid upon? On what? We are not one people. We may be black, we may be Africans, but we're not one people. Not even one religion. If Britain cannot stay in an EU that is entirely Christian, EU is entirely Christian. Britain left. Nigeria, you don't know if Nigeria is Christian or in fact is Islamic. So for me to accept the multiculturalism being preached by the US ambassador, I have to embrace Islam as my religion. That's what it means. And some of you get taken in by all this rubbish. And I feel sorry for you. Yeah, sometimes when I say this, I'm being very arrogant. If you're educated, you will understand that no nation is multicultural. They allow other cultures to come in. It doesn't mean they're multicultural. They have a viable space where multicultural ideas or identities can thrive. But the foundation has to be monolithic. It has to be one dominant value system and ideology. That's how it is all over the world. Don't let anybody fool you otherwise. That is the same reason why you have this anomaly. In a so-called republic, you have royal fathers in a republic. Because you are trying to shuffle multiculturalism. You are trying to marry the feudal system of the North, the monarchical system of the West, and the Republican system in the East, to marry them into one. And what you have is entirely rubbish, and that is why Nigeria can never work. Not now, not tomorrow, not ever. Competing value systems. Nobody wants their own value system to be subsumed under another person's value system. This is something that the US ambassador never told you. But here I am telling you today. Because if you come here, you become educated. If you come here, you become enlightened. If you come here, you stop being a zoo animal, you become a human being.
Welcome, fellow Biafrans, those that are watching, wherever you are watching from. It is New Year coming, some hours to the New Year. My brother Christian, thank you so much for joining, bro Christian.
Happy New Year in advance.
Happy New Year, just some hours. We will enter before you. Yeah, I will see the New Year before you people. So with some hours now, we'll just enter the New Year. I think the people that will see the New Year first is Australia. Australia will enter first, then we'll join, and the other people now will be coming later. So I thank everyone who has made it up to this minute. It is a thing of joy. Even if, as we have made it this minute, we still have to be very, very careful. We still have to be awake. We still have to be focused. We still have to be security conscious, more especially those in Biafra land. You must be security conscious. Don't lose your guard, even though we have made it this far. So today is just the last day of 2025. The last day. So today is just a free broadcast. Anybody that wants to join us to express him or herself, ask your question, make reflections on what we have done wrong and what we need to do on the way forward, or experiences or encounters we have had in 2025. There are so many things that happen. I don't know which one to mention. A lot, a whole lot. So today it is just a freestyle, my brother Christian. Thank you so much for joining. And that's why I have to go through all the way from Mazin, Nandikano, Mazin, Simon, Ekpa, their experiences, their encounters, their problems, and all that, and where we are today and what to expect on next year as we're going to enter from tomorrow. So, my fellow Biafrans, I thank you all. I appreciate everyone, and we thank Chukwu Kabiama immensely for making it possible for us to see the new year. I believe that as many as have been able to be alive up to this last minute, within these few hours that we have into the new year, Chukwu Kabiama will guide us, strengthen us, and keep us to get into the new year.
So,
thank you so much for joining. My brother Christian, go ahead and take the mic and talk to us.
Yes, my brother. I thank you so much, and for every Biafran, home and abroad. You know, we thank God for everything. It's not been an easy journey, but and we are still in it. With the help of Chukwu Kabiama, I believe that he will finish what he started.
Yes.
And the day will come when we shall celebrate and give him, Chukwu Kabiama, all the glory. Because he is truly, truly the one that, with a strong iron hand, he delivered the Israelites in the hand of Pharaoh. So shall it be in the case of Biafrans, in the name of Chukwu Kabiama.
You see?
So we are entering a new year with a new song, a new belief, and a new possibility. So we pray for every Biafran, genuine, pursuing the cause, and for friends of Biafrans, well-wishers world over. And we pray also that for the government of the United States, who has God has, raised him to do the right thing, continue to take humanity into account. So we thank God for that, and strengthen him and continue to push on without being distracted, because distractors will always be there, but that which God has commissioned him to come and do will be done.
Yes.
So we thank everyone, and we must continue to push. We are approaching the finishing line, and we definitely cross it. Thank you so much, Rachel, for the effort. We have to keep pushing. No, there's absolutely no alternative than to continue to push. So thank you so much, my brother. You're welcome.
Thank you, my beloved brother. I appreciate you. It is a very special day, and after today, we will not see another 2025. It's gone. So as we are ending the 2025, everybody should enter into 2026 with a new heart, with a new feeling. In the course of the struggle in 2025, a lot has happened. We must have offended some people knowingly or unknowingly, and some people must have offended us also knowingly or unknowingly. At this last minute is a time to let bygone be bygone. I still strongly believe that every genuine Biafran that is fighting for this cause, we all mean to have our freedom. We are all focused on pursuing our freedom. Even sometimes when we speak out of anger, sometimes when we misunderstand each other, it is not out of hate or wickedness. It is the zeal that every one of us have to be free. I believe that is why some of us, sometimes we get over emotional. We get over emotional to a fault that sometimes people get so emotional that they can even misunderstand you or misinterpret you, even when you mean well. So that is how it happens. Sometimes we misunderstand and misinterpret people, even when they mean well.
Yeah.
So it is all on both sides.
Yeah.
As we are ending the year now, it is a time for us to try as much as possible to let so many things go so that we can be able to capitalize on the opportunity that has presented itself that will even be more clearer in 2026. The opportunity that the United States designation of Nigeria as a country of particular concern has created. It has created a great opportunity, and by 2026, it will become very, very clear, much more clearer than it is today.
Yeah.
So it is very important that we push aside all our ego, all our grudges, all hatred, anger, push it aside. Let's enter with a new mind so that we cannot jeopardize this opportunity. It's an opportunity that every Biafra should be happy about. You know, when the whole thing started, I made a program here when we said that this very designation is to our own advantage. Even in the case of talking about the Christian genocide, it has everything to do with Biafran genocide. We try to link them together and continue to preach that message and create that awareness, and that we have been doing consistently to date. And as day goes by, you begin to see it becoming more clearer. Even now, some international media are now speaking openly, and when they are talking, in the course of their discussion, they mention Biafra. They relate it to Biafra. So it is something that we ourselves that are the ones in the problem. We don't have to destroy it by ourselves. We don't have to destroy what we have cried to have for a long time. So that is why we must have to be very, very careful and prepare ourselves. Be able to manage our emotion at this particular point in time. History does not announce itself politely. History does not announce itself politely. History appears once, knocks briefly, and moves on. That is why we must pay attention to the situation at hand. We must pay attention. History does not announce itself politely. History appears once, knocks briefly, and moves on. We are in a time that history is being written. For the very first time, a world power is coming out to fight for the plight of the Christians. Not just the Christians, going further to move, to take action. For the very first time, since the independence of the Zoological Republic, with all the evil that the Caliphate is doing, there has never been any international intervention that we have seen, except now. If anybody know of any time there has been any foreign attack into Nigeria, an open foreign attack, I'm not talking about the rescue mission, the United States, I'm talking about foreign attack in that you have not seen before by a foreign nation.
Not that I know of. Not that I know of.
Exactly.
Since the Civil War that the British led movement and
Yes.
others against Biafran, there has never been anything like this. Never.
Yes. So we must not play with this opportunity. If we are distracted by anger, by ego, by internal fight, history will walk past us if we are not careful. I repeat, if we are distracted by anger, by ego, by internal fighting, history will walk past us. 2025 is gone. put all your anger, all your ego, all your internal fighting away. Let us capitalize on this very opportunity that presented itself on a platter of gold. It is very, very important that we pay attention. Biafra is not failing because Nigeria alone is fighting us and they don't want us to succeed. Biafra is struggling because we have not mastered ourselves. That is why Biafra is still struggling. Biafra is still struggling because we have not mastered ourselves. It is not just because Nigerian government is doing anything special or whatever.
Yeah.
But mainly because we have not mastered ourselves. These brokers will come every day to make here and speak. It's not to insult anybody, not to fight anybody. It is not for blame. Today, it's not for blame. It is not for dragging anybody's name or anything. But what we are trying to do as we are entering this year is for reset. Let people try to reset for alignment, for maturity, because a door has opened globally. A door has opened globally, and only discipline movements walk through open doors. This opportunity is a very wonderful one. I cannot speak enough of it. Sometimes when I remember how far we have come and where we are today, I remember certain things that has happened. I shed tears. I begin to imagine where we would have been if Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was to be in a free world and this action is taken against Nigeria today.
Or PM.
Or our Prime Minister, Mazi Simon Ekpa, is outside and this action will be taken against Nigeria today. Have you ever sat back and think what would have been our fate?
Yeah, this would have been it. It just would have been it right away. Trust me.
Right away.
Yeah.
This was an opportunity that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu cried for. If you listen carefully to this video I played, when he was talking about the US ambassador who was under the Democrat pushing lies.
Is that not the one that has just gone now?
No, not that one. The one Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was talking here was the one that was there even before I was there during the time of Biden also.
Oh, because this one that left was also from Biden, you know.
Yeah, it was from Biden, but I think that was one left before they brought this one, and then this one I said before Obama removed this one.
Oh, okay.
So when Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was making all those complaints, there was something he was seeing, and what he was seeing, complaining about, is what is happening today. There's nothing Mazi Nnamdi Kanu did not do to push. Even this, you saw in this program I played, he was complaining about this Christian genocide. He complained about it.
Yeah.
The genocide of the minority in the north, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu shouted and cried about it. The same thing Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, but nobody listened. You talk and talk. Nobody will pay attention. You can imagine what would happen if Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was in the free world. With all these testimonies that are going on in the United States, I believe he's going to be there to testify. He will try everything possible to be there. Because Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is loaded with more than enough information. And after listening to him, you can never be the same again. But all the same, only Chukwu Okukabima know why.
God knows
what happened exactly. Only he knows.
Yeah. Because
go ahead, my brother.
Yeah, because Malchus, you know that when Israel pronounced Somaliland as an independent country, you can be rest assured that the United States, they are in line with that.
Yes.
Definitely. I can almost certainly guarantee you that this could not have happened without either the knowledge or consent of the United States. That I can, this current U.S. administration, Benjamin Netanyahu could not have done that without the awareness or consent of President Trump. And one thing is for sure, and that is that if these two nations, which are more or less one, if I may use that word, if they declare you independent, if they endorse you, then you are truly endorsed.
Yes.
You know, just like what Onyenduna Mikano was saying earlier in that speech, is God. Everything you see happening, the position of the United States is just God, and He knows why He did that.
Yes.
You know, as the United States of America goes, so goes the rest of the world. It has been like that, and it's going to remain like that for a foreseeable future, because God knows why He do the things He does. So, obviously, if this was the time that our PM was around, coordinate our boys on the ground, like he did, like it were back then, by then we will be expecting an endorsement from Benjamin Netanyahu. I'm telling you the truth.
Definitely.
Because we will be in charge to a large extent of our territory, you know, driving the zoo out of our place, and these their impostor governors, at least, you know. So with that, and given what is happening on the ground now, that would have been it. Yes. But again, like you said, maybe there's God knows, He knows best, because make no mistake that Oku Biafra aka Chukwukawari.
Yes.
There are no two ways about it. He knows the beginning, He knows the end, He knows how everything is going to come to pass. I believe strongly, unshakably, that I always I've said, if you remember from the one I've been saying it, that Mazen Nnamdi Kanu had an encounter with Chukwuka Abiyama, and that is why it is these days as we speak. It's unshakable, no matter what. Because when you have that personal, you know, close encounter with him that make it heaven and earth, it doesn't matter what they throw at you, which of course we know everything they've been throwing at him, everything till this day. So that is the hope there. Nonetheless, we'll be, you know, doing our little best to putting in our effort in whichever way possible, through shouting, writing, and the organization, wherever we keep making our own noise. In every Biafran must continue to do something one way or the other, and leave the rest to God. It is what it is now. Like we said, it's unfortunate, but that's what it is for now, you know, because again, during the PM, it's unimaginable the level of development. I remember this since how it were under one command, you know. But what do you go, my brother? What do you go? But even I know about this Fulani irredentist. There's one they call Hakim Baba Ahmed. I think he's the elder brother to the other one that is deputizing P2B. Yeah. So yeah, I saw him yesterday. He was on a program, and so obviously, if there was any doubt that these guys are terrorists, and they all have the same agenda, and that agenda is to see the entire Nigeria become Islamized. Make no mistake about that. If you don't believe that, then either you are with them or there's something wrong with you, because it's very obvious. Every day it becomes clearer and clearer that all of them, no exemption, all of them, these Fulanis, these Islamic Fulanis. So he was on this program. I was talking about. I think he was talking about Trump, basically, that because there's so much against him for coming to kind of put an end to their agenda of forcing people, imposing Islamism on Nigerians. So they are not happy with Trump, you know, for stepping in to stop the agenda. over the years, over the decades, the Biafrans in the Igbo have been at the forefront, preventing them in our only two way, from them dipping the Quran. So these are just the facts. But so he was making mention of he made mention of the various terrorist group in Nigeria. He called he said, I think he mentioned Miatiala, he mentioned ISWAP, he mentioned different, and he went ahead to include IPOB, So, but then I wrote on the comment section, I told him that he should be ashamed of himself. A Mauritanian guy, these guys he's from Mauritania. We all know that, right? So yes. They migrated from Mauritania. So, okay. So, but I just told him, I said, look, you should be ashamed of yourself because all the international bodies, the world body all over, conferences and committees were set up, and they clearly identified with the Fulani herdsmen, the Mietiala, the ISWAP, and the rest of them, Boko Haram, as a terrorist organization. Not even once do they mention IPOB, because why? They know that IPOB is not a terrorist organization.
Exactly.
So these are not situations where you're not going to be able to go and bribe them or cajole them to add IPOB into it when they know that IPOB is not who we are, and you know it. So you can deceive yourself. I was telling Akim, I said, you can deceive yourself all you want. Yeah. What the only thing we do, we are asking for is freedom. That is not a crime anywhere, and you know it. There's no law that says that we must be together, because first of all, we are not one people. You know it.
We are not one, and we never signed up to be together. We didn't sign up.
From the inception, we never signed up. So the only crime we've committed is to have asked to be free, because we don't want to be part of this Islamic terrorist mindset that has destroyed the whole country. So that is it. And if the world, like several committees from the U.S. Congress, not even one do they mention it, because they know it's not true. That is just not true.
It's not true. In all this designation and all this mention of names, scores, and targets, nobody mentions IPOB.
Yeah. But because the way it is in Nigeria, nobody stand up to speak the truth or challenge them, because one would have expected them to say to Akim Baba Ahmed. But you are talking about IPOB, that neither the European Union nor the U.S. Congress mentioned them as a terrorist group. They would just show it to him, put it to his face. But the Fulani herdsmen, the Mietiala, the Boko Haram, they were all tagged and, designated as a terrorist group. So why are you trying to, it's incredible.
To make himself happy. He wants to feel happy. He wants to make himself happy. That's it.
Yeah. The other time too, he was on Charles Anogolo's program on our right, when he said that we don't want to live under Nukulawa, we don't want to live under Boko Haram, we don't want to live under ISWAP, we don't want to live under IPOB. Illusion of inclusion. That is illusion. There's nothing, absolutely nothing like that. So, but that's why I always say also that we are morally, we are on the right course of history. Therefore, they will never win, because we never set up to impose our religion as Christians, our tradition or culture on anybody. We never set up to invade any people, take their land. No. All we ask is to be free, a free people, so that we can maintain our own identity. That is all. That is all. And we win everywhere, because on this basis we stand. Unlike them, who came from Futajelon, invading people everywhere they go, they invade, they destroy, they take the place, drop the people away. That is their history, and everybody is there for all to see. How do you go, my brother? How do you go?
It's so sad. But we must have to be prepared. That is why, with all things that are happening now, with the things that are happening now, we can see very clearly that we are on the right path, but we have to prepare ourselves to properly take our position in the world.
Yeah.
The world knows that we are not terrorists. We have never been, and we will not be.
Never.
It is not in our gene, it's not in our system, it's not in our blood. We
Yeah.
are not.
Yeah.
We have the same system with them in the West. We have the same ideology with them in the West.
Of course.
Very, very clear. So we must try as much as possible to position ourselves properly.
Yeah.
Properly. More especially in this 2026, a lot of interesting things are going to happen.
100%.
Many interesting things are happening, but we must have to be careful. So many of us are carrying too many things that are not helping Biafra. So many of us are carrying too many heavy loads that are not helping us in this cause of Biafra. Something like old grievances, personal betrayals, leadership disappointments, broken trust, ego clashes. Who offended who? Who said what in 2018? Who said what in 2019? Who said what in 2020? There are so many heavy loads many of us are carrying. It is time to offload all those things. Open a new chapter. Let us walk into 2026 and enjoy the fruit of 2026. 2026 is going to be a very interesting year, more especially in the cause of Biafra. We need to position ourselves properly so that we can enjoy what is going to come out of 2026. We need to position ourselves properly. The gate is wide open for us. It is left for us to walk in. How many of us are ready and prepared to walk in? How many of us?
Massachusetts, you know, on that aspect, I have to say that even as we do our little best, even as we continue to push, continue to talk, whatever, personally, it's beyond me. I can't put my finger on it. I don't know. I don't understand that aspect. But what I do is I continue to put it before God in prayer because it's beyond me. Anything, that anything come, I surrender it to Him.
Simple.
So on that regards, it's just beyond me because when you look around, I don't know if I would call it the spirit of crap, you know, that stuff like that.
Yes.
So these are a very serious, unfortunate areas, you know, that it doesn't have to be that me, my way or the highway, sort of.
Exactly.
It doesn't have to.
If I'm not the one, it must not work.
Yeah, that I cannot understand it. I simply cannot understand it. So I listened to this guy yesterday, bro Kechuku. You know him, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he said a lot there. You know, of course, we always say, you don't always have to agree with anybody 100%, you know,
Yes.
but when somebody, if they make a point, you take it, and the one you don't take, you leave it.
Definitely.
So, but that unified force is a key. Is a key because you must.
A very strong key that we are lacking. We need it. We need it more than ever. More especially in 2026 because of what is happening now.
Yeah, you must have that unity, and it has to also be the case of, like, for example, I don't know why someone will feel the need, like, because I'm already in it, therefore it has to be me, you know, that you cannot, that's just the crazy aspect. But again, that is the confusing aspect that is beyond me, is beyond you probably, but it's not beyond Chuko Kabiaba. So that is how I look at that. Because
it's beyond every one of us, but
it's not because him again is the one who knows the heart of you or me. You know, I don't know. So only him knows those that are really, really in for it. You know, for me, given my experience, the things we've seen all this while, so there's no doubt that it's only him who understands the heart of human being. those who are in it, whether they are in it for real or not, I don't know. You know, so but he will find a way. I believe that he always find a way to so that is how I'm looking at it. The two guys who have without a doubt distinguished themselves, Bonam the Canon, our PM, whatever. So these two guys, I can vouch for them because I know the steps they take, the things they do, wherever, you know, not just the fact that they lay everything on the line, but the steps they take. I can vouch for those ones. So as it is now, I cannot vouch for anybody other than these two. But if that is not to say that I'm trying to discredit anybody who is genuine, but just keep doing what you think is best, you know.
Yeah.
But this is a time I could say Nukonu, you know.
Not very important, my brother.
This is the time. With onye ọbụkwa na onye mgbu ya n'obi, onye obi ọcha nwe wepụta obi mara ife anyị chọrọ ịghọtago ọbụrụ onye nke ọbịa ọ na-agba mmadụ n'azụ gburugburu ịmafụ. And so because this is the fear. You see. So obviously our people have shown over the years, over the many decades, that they can be that. They've shown that, you know, before the coming of Nnamdi Kanu, whom whiter than white and purer than, you know. So we've never really, it's been so crazy. Ebutara ego aswande mmadụ ego okwu change, yeah, you know. Okwu ego anu bụ major defect on our part. Ego ebutara ego imagine nke, you know. So this is a serious stuff. But Odiogu, my dear brother, Odiogu, it gives me a really sleepless night sometimes, you know, that I'm not at all. But kind of Jehovah that at least out of the two of them, no, so anything that okay, my brother. Odiogu.
Chukwuokikabian will help us, my brother. It is not easy. That is why we must continue to do what we can do, speak the best way we can, and I hope that Biafrans will understand with open heart and clear heart. Let us work together and get ourselves positioned for what is coming. No liberation movement succeed while dragging emotional luggage along.
Exactly.
You can succeed. Anger may feel justified, but anger is not strategy. Has never been. Complaint may feel true, but complaint do not build nations. Blame may feel comforting, but blame does not change political reality. If South Sudan waited for perfect unity, they would still be arguing today. If Eritrea waited for perfect leaders, they would still be occupied. History shows us one thing clearly. Freedom movements win when prioritize purpose over personality. Prioritize purpose over personality. That is why most of the time I say it's let us focus on building institution, not personality. But in this course of journey, we see many people they are much focused on building personalities, building strong men and strong women here and there. But when you talk about building institution called Biafra, some of them, they become angry. They don't even want to hear about it. They don't even care what's happening. It is important that we have to focus, more especially now that we have change globally, this global change, we must tap into it. We must tap into it. Something has shifted. The designation of Nigeria link structure under global counterterrorism framework and the direct US military response through airstrike have done something very, very important that every one of us should be thankful for and work more hard to position ourselves for what is coming ahead. They have redefined Nigeria image internationally. That thing we have been saying, only us have been saying. Now, the global community is saying the same thing we are saying. And by the special grace of God, By 2026, you will begin to hear that this country is not supposed to be one. You had Mazen Nandekano in this video I played when he talked about diversity, on how nations are built. How nations are built. When they come to preach you and say diversity is your strength, that you people are one, you can live together. It cannot happen. It's not true. We are not one people. We have never been, and we will not. The kind of diversity you have in Nigeria is a destructive diversity. We have Mazen Nani can explain it very well. That countries are built along the system. He explained it long before now. And I believe in 2026, this very value system will become very clear to the whole world. By 2026, people will begin to speak about this value system openly. Just imagine in a time where people in the southern part of Nigeria are celebrating the taking out of the terrorists. And people in the how do you explain that? How do you explain the fact that the northerners are happy, are angry? They are angry that terrorists are taken out. But in the south, the southerners are rejoicing, they are happy, they are congratulating Donald Trump and praising him. That action alone speaks volume. It speaks volume. It speaks to the fact that we are not one people. We have never been one people, and we cannot be one. This pretense is too much. So by next year, it is the voice is going to be louder than it is today. But how prepared are we? How are we positioned to key in? How are we positioned to key in? That is where our concern should be now. How to build ourselves and position ourselves. Look at Somaliland that was recognized by Israel. Somaliland, go and check their record. They've been there for so many years, pursuing that, and they were able to be together. They were together, asking for it. They have their president. They are in charge of their land. They had their election several times. They've done so many, anything you can think of, they have it. The only thing they were lacking is that recognition. Finally, the recognition have come from Israel. And the next people to recognize it, just as my brother Christian has said, is United States. Be rest assured that since Israel have recognized it, the next one, even when one of their program I saw, they were saying it that the next recognition they expect the United States, they were raising the flag of the United States. And it's going to come. But it is coming because they are united. It is coming because they have done their homework. It doesn't mean that they don't have challenges. They have challenges, they have differences, they have obstacles, but they were able to manage it. As it stands today, Nigeria is no longer seen as a global, as a giant of Africa, as people used to call it. Giant. Nobody addresses Nigeria today as a giant of Africa. Those days have gone. Today, Nigeria is increasingly seen as a security liability, a regional destabilizer, a country struggling to control violence within its own border. That is how the zoo is seen today. This is not propaganda.
I said Nigeria is collapsed. Nigeria is collapsed already. Brachus.
Yeah, go ahead, my brother.
Okay, my voice came out because I muted it. I said Nigeria is collapsed.
Yeah.
Without a doubt. If you don't believe me, look at what is going on. That a country where a foreign country is like trying to fight their battle against the terrorists that has taken over a huge chunk of the land. The terrorists are in control, in charge of a huge land in the country, and the president just disappears, entered plane and just disappears. Nobody knows his destination, his whereabouts. And as we speak now, everywhere and everybody is just uncertainty all over the place. The commander-in-chief, the so-called commander-in-chief, is nowhere to be found. And United States that have stepped up to save the life of Christians and other indigenous people who are facing genocide. That is just the only hope they have. The hope that the people have in Nigeria is that America increases, intensify, push further to save their lives. The commander-in-chief is gone, nowhere to be found. And the terrorists are just roving all over the place, scattering for their own safety and buying people as they go along and plotting for further action. So I've never seen anything like that. I've never, to be honest with you, even during Yaradua or during Buhari, for the most part, no foreign country comes in to help protect the people, because that's what America is doing. They are in to protect.
It has never happened in Nigerian history before.
Never. So to think that all this is going on and the president is nowhere to be found, and people, I see some people, some of the tribes people of him, they are saying that that everything is okay, but everything is not okay.
Oh God, that everything is okay.
And the world is watching. The international bodies, they are observing what is going on. What kind of country is that? How do you define sovereignty of a country that the president is nowhere to be found while the whole place fire all over the place? Because that is what it is. We have to depend. Christians in the Middle Belt, in Benue, in Southern Kaduna, and the rest of it are looking up to President Trump for their life, for safety, for survival. It's incredible. I've never seen it anywhere. Only in Nigeria. Only in Nigeria will you see the unthinkable, unimaginable. Only in Nigeria. What kind of evil? Because when we say this, it looks as if, but we are just speaking the truth. That is just the truth. God knows. Tell me anywhere you've seen a thing like that. A president just go away. Nobody knows his whereabouts. Nobody knows. Nobody can come out today and say that he's in France or he's in UK or he's in this. Nobody knows. He just go just like that. And the United States military, they are in the country now, putting searchlight on where the terrorists are, at least to take them out, stop them from killing the people, from Nigerian people. It's incredible. The fact that people are not alarmed, and you have some whom, like the Shores and the rest of them, I don't know, and so they are not able to do anything. And America is coming to help out, to save the life of vulnerable people, not the life of Shore, because his children are in the United States, his family, they are safe.
Of course, he's secure, he's safe.
But you turn around, you are castigating the one that has stepped up to save people, to save their life. So Nigeria is collapsing. It's just collapsing fast before our very eyes. I think it's coming to an end. And international bodies, they have to be able to see it for what it is. That is not a viable entity. It's not viable at all. That on its own is a crime against humanity. So the best thing under the circumstance is to let those who wants to live have their own union, have their own entity. That is what it's all about. Because these Northerners also, they've demonstrated in this time period that they are not in tune with reality.
At all.
The agenda is different. They've demonstrated that that is the Muslim Fulani Northerners, this oligarch, this very group of, the caliphate in the probably 12 or 11 states in the north, they've shown that They are just their agenda is different from other part of people in the country. So I think the international community should be able to step in and say, look, we can't sit down and watch genocide continue to happen. After the Rwanda, Burundi, all these ones, they said never again. But every time this thing starts, they said nothing, they did nothing. Thank goodness for that we have a president like Trump who took it upon himself to step in. Can you imagine what would be happening if he didn't come in this Christmas? Because they already have the plan how they were going to just massacre people all over the place.
Exactly.
So just imagine what would have happened. The rest of the world, they just stand by and watch. European Union, they stand by and watch. That on its own is criminal. Nigeria is not sustainable. They must be able to stand up and do the right thing. That is, disintegrate these people so that those who have themselves will be able to manage themselves. Ladies, 12 or 13 state, whatever, that wants to manage themselves, because they can manage themselves. They have one set goal, and that set goal is to follow Islamic injunction as their, the laws and everything, so they can manage themselves, and the rest can manage themselves too. So it's just sad that every time the world look away, because you always have one or two countries that are benefiting from the chaos, from the genocide, so they look away. Yeah. But like I said, we just thank God that in this time frame we have President Trump, who is not buying into it. He's doing his utmost to solve problems where he can all over the globe. There's nowhere his hand is just incredible. I saw the other day too that is it Oduduwa or I don't know, they were protesting or rioting, burning tires. But
I saw that video, but I didn't pay attention because I didn't take it serious, I saw that video.
For me, I just look at it and my gut feeling is that these are just Tinubu's manipulations. Yes. That's what I feel. It's not real because they've used it. The North, the Buharis and their people, they've used terrorism to acquire power. And this Tinubu and his boys, they've used also Oduduwa Nation agitation to acquire power too. And if you look at the way things are going, the 2027, Tinubu probably feels that if they start making noise again with Oduduwa, that might make the Northerners to say, okay, let him continue because if they go away. Because I can guarantee you that these Fulanis in the North, one thing they don't want is for anybody to break away from Nigeria. Because they want to capture, they want everywhere, everybody, all the land, they want it. Mm. So when you see them fighting IPOB, fighting and they cannot fight it, is because they don't want anybody to be free. They want all of us to stay and slowly but surely capture everywhere.
Capture every whole land.
And the millions and millions of their people they've brought in from the entire Sahel region, settle them in everywhere and turn us into Islamic nation. That is what it's all about. That is just simply what it's all about. And for Tinubu and his people, the game they play, is that which after our Sunday, nobody hears nothing from them anymore. No, but nothing. You hear absolutely nothing. Akintoye.
All this time that Tinubu is here, Akintoye and what is it called?
No, but nothing again.
Nothing anymore. They are doing nothing.
You see? So you see that playbook, they did not use it, brought in these terrorists, to drive out Jonathan, hijack the power, spend 8 years with nothing to show for it, but just building terrorism to push the agenda of Islamization and Fulanization, because that is the primary agenda. And when they handed over now, they handed over to Tinubu use his own to Yoruba nation, Oduduwa nation, to get it. And that is what they are doing now, because we have people on the ground We have people on the ground. That protest I saw, I did not take it seriously because it's not serious. They say this and this and that. That is just you. You have to really be stupid to believe that. You know, they are the one ruling. At least they are the one in charge. So I know that it's under the caliphate, but basically they are the one in charge. So, and it's a joke. It is a joke. You know, but we have to. Because again, if you look at these Fulanis, they put the blame because they know where the whole thing is coming from. They know that we are the one who is fed up with this terrorism. We are the one as Biafrans. We are the one that doesn't want to be part of it. That is why. Yeah, that is why when you see them, the Baba Ahmed of this world, and the rest of them, their target is always Ndi Igbo, because we are the people that say that this is not who we are. We can't continue to be part of what we don't know about. People that believe that terrorism is the way to go. That if you don't believe in their religion, you are infidel. You're as good as being, it's crazy. So that is the situation, but we must continue, my brother. How do you?
It is so sad what we are seeing, and I pray that people understand that the whole situation and wake up, because in this cause of freedom, it is only the Biafrans that are really serious in it. We are the only ones that know what we have to do, and I don't know why Chukwu Hukabim have given us an assignment to free everybody in that zone. And we will continue to embark on it. So wherever you are as a Biafran, I want you to understand one thing. Self-determination movements do not succeed with noise alone. Self-determination movement do not succeed by noise alone. You can make the noise, we can talk the talk, we can do everything, but that alone is not going to give us our freedom. They succeed when global interests shift. Global interest shift that we are seeing now is one of the key factors that makes self-determination to succeed. This global shift we are seeing in Nigeria today, one of the strongest points that makes self-determination succeed. That is why we must be focused and never get distracted. We must not get distracted. We must not get distracted. I want you to understand that the world only listens to movements that appear matured, united, and coherent. The international community will only listen to movements that appears matured, united, and coherent. No serious international actor supports chaos, internal insults, endless factional wars. This moment we find ourselves now requires absolute discipline, not drama. Enough of the drama that we have done in 2025. Enough of all the garbage in 2025. In 2026, we need discipline if we want to be recognized, if we want to capitalize on this global shift in Nigeria today, if we want our self-determination to finally become a reality, we must change the way we are doing things. And I want every one of us as Biafrans to remember that forgiveness is not weakness. In terms of ourselves, your brother, your sister, your neighbor, fellow Biafrans, more especially, forgiveness is not weakness. Some of the things we say here make people uncomfortable. Sadly, some things we say here make people uncomfortable. But are we going to stop? No, we can't stop. because they are the truth. Forgiveness is not surrender. Forgiveness is strategy. Forgiveness does not mean you forget the pain. You deny injustice. You pretend mistakes never happened. No, that's not what it means. Forgiveness, in this case, simply means you refuse to let the past sabotage the future. That's what we're talking about. Refuse to let the past sabotage the future. Choose Biafra before every bitterness. Choose Biafra over every bitterness you have. You value the unborn generation more than your wounded pride. That is what we mean when we talk about forgiveness. That is exactly what we mean. Ask yourself some hard questions. Will history remember you? Will history remember who insulted who on Facebook? Who blocked who on WhatsApp? Or will history remember who rose above emotions to secure a future? Ego built grave, not nation. (2025) is gone. We are entering into 2026, a new page, a very important time. The global shift is before us in Nigeria. All we need to do is to tap in and make sure we are not left behind. This moment demands some things from all of us. This moment that we're going to enter demands certain things from us. First, emotional maturity. Not every disagreement is an enemy. Not every disagreement is an enemy. Not every mistake is a sabotage. We must know this. Second, strategic silence. Movements sometimes win by speaking less and aligning more. Speaking less and aligning more. Thirdly, unity of purpose. You don't need to look everywhere. You don't need to look. You don't need to like everyone. You don't need to like everyone. You must not like everybody around you. You must not like everyone. You only need to agree on the destination. The course of the doesn't have, you don't need to like me that is speaking here. You don't need to like me. Or my brother Christian that is speaking here. You don't need to like us. You don't need to like me. It doesn't have anything to do with liking us. You must not like everyone. You only need to agree on the destination. What is our destination? Freedom. Every single one of us. The destination. Why I come here every morning, 2 times in a day. Why my brother Christian, even in his work, when he's working, busy working, he will be speaking to Biafrans and he'll be working, attending to work. It's because of our freedom. We are not doing it for you to like us or to dash us anything or to pray. No, it is for my own freedom, for his own freedom, for your own freedom, for our freedom. That is the destination. Fourth, discipline. Discipline in language. Discipline in language, the language we use for each other. Discipline in our conduct. Discipline in messaging. Because the world is watching. Not emotionally, but analytically. They are watching. They are watching. Maybe as we hear, I think only few of us, oh, it's only me and Bro Christian and some few. People are watching. There are people that you don't even expect that are here watching us and observing what is going on. Nations are not given to the loudest. They are negotiated for by the most organized. Nations are negotiated for by the most organized. That is why these messages are coming at this time. Next year is going to be wonderful. And if we miss it, God forbid, we will not miss it. We will not miss it. Opportunities like this do not stay forever. This opportunity you see today, the change of narrative and focus you are seeing today, it does not stay forever. Windows open and windows close. If we miss this moment because of pride, division, endless accusation, history will not come back to apologize. And our children will ask us one day, you saw the signs, you saw the cracks. Why did you waste the moment? Let this question not haunt us, you and I. These questions, let it not haunt you and I. You saw the signs. You saw the cracks. Why did you waste the moment? I pray in the name of Chukwu Kabian that this question will not haunt you and I in the time to come.
Master Choose.
Go ahead, my brother.
So your point, you're just making a very valid point, because Ali Igbo is our forebearers, they did their very best to preserve it.
Yes.
And it would be sad if we are unable to keep it for our future generation to come. Why am I saying this? Because I know for a fact that these impostors who call themselves governors in Ali Igbo, Biafra for the most part, they are a bunch of people who are bought and sold already by the caliphate. And their game plan, I can guarantee you that their intention, their hope is that they can saturate among our people, in our communities everywhere. These Fulanis from the Sahel that Buhari and the rest of them brought into the country, so that they will let them, infiltrate, integrate into the community, becomes amongst us, and so that in 2030, as the case may be, 40, 50 years from now, you will know who is who again. Just like what happened to the Hausas today. It's very hard for you to know who is Hausa, who is Fulani. This is what
very hard to differentiate them.
This is what the hopes of the mans of this world, the Omahis of this world. Yeah, Sukuma Soludo. This is their game plan. This is part of, quote me anywhere, this is part of their target. The one in Lagos, what is his name? That one that cleans the gutter. Can you remember his name? In
that idiot in Lagos State. What's
yes, Exactly. Yeah. The name. I'm trying. I can't remember his name, but you know the person I'm talking about.
I know
So
the guy. I'm trying to remember his name too.
This is their aim, that you have to kill tribe or culture to build a nation. And the one Carlo something that I think third in command in National Assembly or whatever, or Benjamin Carlo, they are all in it. Their aim is to completely, like. But we know what the Fulanis are bringing. We know what
you
they
know
bring.
that gutter cleaner in Lagos, he was crying that they did not appoint him as an ambassador. He was expecting an ambassadorial position.
I heard about that. You see? So therefore, the more you betray your people, the more you sell your people, you think you'll be rewarded. You are bringing destruction upon yourself.
Exactly.
Because what they want these Fulanis to come and desecrate on the grave of our ancestors. That is their game plan. In the name of multiculturalism, in the name of one Nigeria, in the name of building a nation, just for them, they integrate, begin to, and they were pushing that agenda in the National Assembly, that if you stay 10 years in a place, you are no longer a citizen, but an indigene. Indigenship is not something you don't just give it to somebody. Everybody have where they are coming from. So you have to be able to know where you are coming from. But this Carlo and some of them, the Umahis, these are the people, they are championing it. So that, like I said, 30, 40 years from now, you won't be able to say that this is Omela Alindibo. You won't know, nothing like that. And you can bet that the Fulanis will impose, because this is what they do. They will impose upon you their own belief system, their own religion, everything about them. Then we are gone. How is that going to happen? These are some of the things Nnamdi Kanu put his life on the line to prevent, and that is why, as we speak today, he's still bearing the brunt. All these criminal governors that were put there to do their job. That is their game plan. Now, as we speak, now this guy, another Fulani guy, Ribadu, with the ostrich neck, all of a sudden bringing out, I think, 7,000 of a trained, how do you call it, vigilantes. Forest guard.
I saw that video. Let me see if I can find it.
And I'm like, how did that come about in the first place? Where and how were they recruited? How does it go? So who are these people? 7,000 of them. Who are they? From which region?
We are trained today.
Hello?
Should I play it?
Okay, well, all right, play it.
Okay.
National forest guards that were trained today, they are basically trained in order to work together with other security agencies.
Fulani, look at them, look at them.
They are going to be under supervision of Department of State Security Service, DSS, and administratively they are going to be supervised under National Park Service and other security agencies. And if you see this initiative, it is collaboration between different security agencies. Initially, this is the first phase. It is not the ending. It is just the beginning of the training process. So this is the first phase. The forest guards were selected for
something that among people have been begging for many years.
In the next phase of the training, other local government are going to also be covered.
Just look at this one.
Initially, the plan is that once they are trained, they will go back to their various local governments to provide security in the forested areas.
We will provide every necessary support.
You see, another one.
And our power to ensure your operations are successful. Your victory is our victory. Your security is our people's victory. Furthermore, I wish to implore the good people of Kebbi State, our traditional rulers, community leaders, youth, and all citizens to extend their full support, cooperation, and vital intelligence to the Nigerian Forest Guards. Welcome them.
They call it Nigerian Forest Guards.
And daughters.
These people are
see them as partners of peace.
And this thing is happening in all northern states too.
Wow.
This thing is happening in all the northern states. I want you to pay attention
ensure
to
your
the,
operations.
pay attention to
as
the title
successful.
they gave that very. You see what they wrote there.
Okay.
Just pay attention to the title they wrote on that.
The victory is our victory.
Federal government
Your
trained
security
AK-47 armed
Furthermore,
819
I should
National
inflow
Forest Guard in
In
Kebbi.
Kebbi.
of Kebbi State, our traditional rulers,
You can imagine.
community leaders.
You can
So-
imagine. Go ahead.
Yeah, so the thing is, well, okay, now, because it's confusing. When they said federal government and they said national, mark the word, these two words, national. Because if they are training them for KB State or whatever in the north, but when they say national, they are making reference to the entire country, right?
Exactly.
And if you look, you see that these are purely Fulani projects.
Pure Fulani headers.
Hey, and so nobody is talking now because this is how now. So this thing they happen. Oh, they're not a
That's why
talk.
they
Oh,
start now.
you remember that when that governor said also that they have that program to bring all the Fulanis from Sahara region into the country, everybody kept quiet while he was saying it, and Buhari opened border and they all flooded in, and we see the result today. And America is coming to help out. This is another one, though. Nobody is speaking, asking, how did the recruitment come about?
Exactly. Where did you get these people from?
And where did you work? Because when you say national,
In a country that they say they don't have enough military men to join them.
exactly. All of a sudden,
you have millions of people now joining that.
And nobody's talking. Nobody's raising alarm.
Armed with AK-47.
And we know that the Mayor Tiala, through Shetima, have said that they will train vigilantes or forest guard that will guard the entire forest.
Thank you. It started
We
from
know.
Buhari now. You remember?
Yes.
It was Buhari that started this project. This project started from Buhari.
And these guys you are seeing, if it's implemented and they distribute them, I am sure that the likes of Hope Uzodinma and Omahi, they will gladly welcome them to come and buy our people. I am telling you the truth. Because Omahi with Buhari, they created Ebubagu. Ebubagu killed a lot of our boys. I'm telling you.
Yes.
And that crime will never leave Omahi free. And they are training this.
That they used to destabilize the southeast. Ebubago was the one that championed the insecurity in southeast. Ebubago.
Exactly, 100%.
They were the one doing the flag operation there.
So they use federal fund now, federal resources to acquire this sophisticated. Look at the arms they have. Look at all this AK-47. Hundreds and thousands of it to equip them, and but other people who from
AK-47, but their military in the war front, they have jam gun. Their gun is jamming.
Can you imagine?
In the war front, who was crying when they were fighting Boko Haram, he was crying that the magazine he's using is jamming. He cannot even you need to service it before he fire.
You see, this is why we said that Nigeria is a caliphate. They run Nigeria. British handed over to them, and they just took it and ran away. Tinubu, you see there, he's sitting there while Ribadu and Shetima, they are just screwing his head up.
Exactly.
Under his nose, they are doing this thing using federal fund to create a forest guard, Fulani forest guard that will go and help them to push the agenda of Islamization. That's what it's all about. That is also, so it's good that we continue to talk because again, you don't know who is listening. Because when this whole thing started, this is how we were also shouting about it. Yes. The people who you called your political elite or whatever,
they're idiots.
They kept quiet, they said nothing, but everybody is suffering it today. Thank goodness that America came in to help out. Otherwise, it would have been a colossal massacre going on in Nigeria. I'm telling you the truth. So they train these ones. Now look at what they have. These are not pump action. These are sophisticated arms.
Automatic AK-47.
Automatic. You see what I mean? So But again, the good thing is that we keep, you know, we will have to continue to pinpoint all these things, and let's see what their plan is this time. The ones in the north, the Sambisa forest, they are running hectares. They caught 30 something. You know, I think Ondo, they caught them in Ondo State, and you ask yourself, why you if you get this, what is the point? I mean, if they said that they will screen them, the ones who are whatever, they will send them back to where? You have to send them to God for judgment, because these are the people who have by hundreds of thousands of innocent Nigerians all over the place. So if you say you apprehend them, you put them in where you what you can't do. Of course, we know that the caliphate will hand. If you catch them, you surrender like they did now. You know, those the caliphate will take over. Before you know it, they fix them somewhere, and they will regroup. Audio, my brother. Audio.
You see, some of us took it for a joke. During the time of campaign of Tinubu and Shetima, Shetima told you that he's going to be in charge of defense.
Yeah, security.
And people took that word for a joke.
Yeah.
When Shetima told you he's going to be in charge of security in Nigeria, you think it's a joke. Today, it is playing out with Matawale and Rebadu.
Yeah.
He said that Tinubu should focus on the economy, that he will be in charge of security.
That's what is happening, bro. Life. This is what is playing out. Matawale
is the commander-in-chief when they come to the armed forces. It is Shetima.
Yeah.
Tinubu has no say there.
Our saving
given and come on, removing the security from the officials. He couldn't be able to do it.
Yeah. Our saving grace through Chukwu Abiyama is the hand of Trump that comes in. Otherwise, forget it. The game was set.
They don't know what God did for us to bring Trump. They don't know.
The game was set, completely set, because Tinubu has nothing. There's nothing in Tinubu's hand. Tinubu is just there, a dead fish that goes with the flow. Tinubu is a dead fish. Nothing. Shetima is in charge. And I also told you, if you remember, when they appointed Musa, I told you that he's not gonna nothing, because he will be a subject to Shetima as the vice president.
Exactly.
Since he came there, what difference has he made? None. They are just lying to people on Channels TV, on all these other TVC that they bombed this lie. They did nothing. They called him already and told him that, look, you are a civilian now. Leave the terrorists alone. Don't touch them. You know?
Simple. They're giving him instruction what to do.
Even investigations.
Look at what you do and look at what you not do.
Yeah. Even he came in, he saw that the wherever the order came from, that that St. Mary Christian school where they went and kidnapped people, that he was going to investigate. He will get to the bottom of it. Who gave the order that moved but he's there now. You will never hear that again. That is the end of that chapter.
That is the end.
Because there are people that he is subordinate to. They will tell him, my friend, you go and sit down. So you see how Nigeria is. There's no solution, absolutely no solution to this madness, except that people must wake up from their slumber. They must wake up. Oduduwa they should be serious for once. Fight. Don't look at Tinubu. If you are looking at Tinubu, you are wasting your time. The man doesn't care about anybody. You know, Oduduwa must go. Biafra, go Arewa, go Middle Belt, and everybody just go and manage yourself. That is all. You close up your place, decide what is good for you, what you want. If you are letting a Fulani person, you know whom he is. What is he coming to do? And if anything happens, you know where to find them. That is how it is in the Western world. That is how it is in a civilized world. How do you?
It is sad. It is sad. When we talk about these things, people think it's a joke. There are some important issues that people must pay attention to. Pay attention to. Just like what you said, my brother. Now we are talking about this one. This recruitment of forest guard. This is something that Mieti Allah requested from Muhammad Buhari.
Yeah.
When he gave them 1 billion.
Yeah.
100 billion. He gave them
100 billion. Yeah.
Finally, today, government itself is the one now building that same forest guard. If the forest guard was supposed to be something national, there will be announcement for the recruitment from every region.
Exactly.
This, just imagine, these are the same people that they say they don't want state police. So
yeah,
they fight against the police.
Yeah,
you create security outfit on the state. Amoteku, they refuse that Amoteku should hold weapon.
Yeah,
they fight against ESN. Now they have now created forest guard
from their own
by the north, mentioning them of the northern state, equipping them immediately. They said they trained them and gave them AK-47.
Look at even the officers, all of them Islamists.
That is it. We don't know how the recruitment was done.
Yeah.
None of us know where the training was done. Where those people are from, their nationality itself, nobody knows.
Nobody knows.
And they just launched it. And the next thing now, they'll distribute it in all the states.
Yeah.
And the idiotic governors, the criminal governors we have, will open their hands and welcome them. Then hand over the forest to them. When they hand over the forest to them, what else are you expecting? Haven't they gotten the Ruga they are looking for?
Yeah.
Haven't they gotten their Ruga? The next thing that they will be deciding where you will farm and where you will not farm. Who farms where and who does not farm. Who goes where and who does not go. My brother.
And especially now that we don't seem to have a standing unified force that will defend our people. They are bringing their own, this Janjaweed Forest Guard. So you can imagine how catastrophic that would be. All in a bid to push the agenda. Because there's nothing that they dread, these Islamic terrorists, other than to see Nigerian people get free from the agenda. They want to capture they've committed so much time, effort, resources with some nations strongly behind them. Again, that's why when you say I'm thanking President Trump, maybe you understand where I'm coming from. That Turkey is strongly behind these people. And that president of Turkey, Erdogan, he's an Islamist, a hardcore Islamic fundamentalist. In all his history, I've known that guy many, many years ago. He has always been a jihadist. He hates Israel. You can't even begin to imagine. He hates Western world, yet they are in NATO, they are member of NATO.
You can imagine, those are the people that Gumi was telling Tinubu to go and meet.
To go and bring.
Yes, Turkey and Afghanistan.
Exactly. You know? So Turkey they wanted to join European Union, but they were smart enough to say no, because if they allow Turkey to join European Union, then it's all over. Europe is finished. That is end of. It's like you take kitchen key, hand over to a rat. It's finished. Yeah. It's huge country, huge population. Turkey is, I don't know, maybe more than 90 million or thereabout. It's huge. You invite them into European Union. That is it. They just leave that place. They take over the whole European cities, and that is it. Islamization.
Very crooked. Once they get into European Union, one thing they will do is to make sure they put their people in position. Before you know it, they will buy their way into the top position and begin to lead the group.
That is it. Because
with this, their liberalism, they say, "Oh, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter."
Exactly.
It's crying now. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, and they will take them over completely.
Political correctness. They will not speak. Only Trump have the ball, have that cojones to speak truth to power. Only Trump.
Only him.
This other guy, a terrorist himself. I'm telling you the gospel truth. What they want to replicate in Nigeria is what happened in that same Turkey, the old Constantinople. It was a Christian country. This is how they took over the whole place. Massacred Christians, marginalized. They shrink and shrink and shrink. Now it's gone. It's all Muslim now, almost 100%. You see what I mean? The same thing they did in other places. They saw the loophole. They saw all the advantages in Nigeria, and his brain. He is the brain. You know that when Saudi Arabia deported or refused entrance from Gumi, he ran to Turkey. He's always in Turkey. Yeah. So the Turkey and also Massachusetts, if you remember that this former governor of Benue State, Otom, when this Fulani attacked him, they wanted to kill him. If you remember, he told Nigerians that Turkey and is it Qatar? Yeah, Turkey and one other. He said that they are strongly behind the Boko Haram and that they are the ones supplying the arms. But these people,
the revelation has been coming again and again.
Yeah,
the involvement of Turkey in terrorism in Nigeria.
And they said, and the Mietiala with Buhari there, and they said that after Otom, when he goes, his tenure, when he finishes, they will never have another governor like him again. That's why they brought the one, they say is pastor, about deny Christian genocide, but they don't mark us. Oh my goodness. Oh my God. So we have to continue to speak because I don't trust these guys who are the governors in our land. I don't trust them one bit. One bit. I don't trust them. They are with the enemies against us. I know that for sure. So we must continue to speak and we are watching them. But one day, hand go meet all of them. Thank you, my brother.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Let's just hear Mazin Nandekani again on that his explanation.
You don't have any value system that anybody anywhere can define. If I talk about the USA, I can talk about hamburger in the USA. We can talk about, what else do they have in the USA? Hamburger, you can talk about, what's it called? What are the traditional dishes? Apple pie and all the rest of it. You can say that these are American dishes. If you go to the UK, you can talk about maybe mashed potato and bangers and mash, like Nigeria. You don't have any value system. It's essentially a Sharia Islamic state. Sharia. I'm now addressing the US ambassador to try to tell them to stop deceiving people. We are educated, we went to school for a reason. We're enlightened and we have our brain intact. There is no country on this earth that runs on this wishy-washy multiculturalism. It doesn't happen. What you have are established order and value systems upon which various cultures can now coexist.
Mm-hmm.
If you go to America, you coexist under the provisions of the United States Constitution. And the US Constitution is a Christian constitution, not Islam. America is not multicultural, but under that bedrock of liberty and egalitarianism, you allow other cultures to come in. But first of all, they must swear allegiance to or take an oath to uphold the Constitution of the USA. That is something that the US ambassador never told the Janjaweed that went to visit her. The same way that Nigeria cannot function as a viable entity. Wole Soyinka knows what I'm talking about. I'm even sure somebody who claims he's learned, as Bishop Coker is, understands what I'm talking about. No country on this earth. The value system of the State of Israel is based on Judaic principles. The value system of Russia is entirely theirs, it's based on theirs. It's the Russian way of doing things from times of the Tsar. If you go to Saudi Arabia, it is essentially a Sharia Islamic state. You can live there, no problem. You can build your churches if you want. I think they've not started to allow churches to be built. But it is never a multicultural society. Japan is not a multicultural society. China is not. They can accommodate you. But that doesn't mean they are this is the type of nonsense they feed Africans. And we fall for that very gimmick of multiculturalism. At the end of the day, you end up with a useless contraption like Nigeria. You don't have any value system that anybody anywhere can define. If I talk about the USA, I can talk about hamburger in the USA. We can talk about, what else do they have in the USA? Hamburger, you can talk about, what's it called? What are the traditional dishes? Apple pie and all the rest of it. You can say that these are American dishes. If you go to the UK, you can talk about maybe mashed potato and bangers and mash, which is sausage and mashed potato, as their national meal. That's understandable. But I ask you, if you come to Nigeria, what is the national dish of Nigeria? Does a Fulani Janjaweed eat ofe egusi, where we come from? Does an Igbo man eat a wedu soup? The answer is no. So on what basis is all this so-called multicultural foundation going to be laid upon? On what? We are not one people. We may be black, we may be Africans, but we're not one people. Not even one religion. If Britain cannot stay in an EU that is entirely Christian, EU is entirely Christian. Britain left.
Yeah.
Nigeria, you don't know if Nigeria is Christian or in fact is Islamic. So for me to accept the multiculturalism being preached by the US ambassador, I have to embrace Islam as my religion. That's what it means. And some of you get taken in by all this rubbish. And I feel sorry for you. Yeah, sometimes when I say this, I'm being very arrogant. If you are educated, you will understand that no nation is multicultural. They allow other cultures to come in. It doesn't mean they're multicultural. They have a viable space where multicultural ideas or identities can thrive. But the foundation has to be monolithic. It has to be one dominant value system and ideology. That's how it is all over the world. Don't let anybody fool you otherwise. That is the same reason why you have this anomaly. In a so-called republic, you have royal fathers in a republic. Because you are trying to shuffle multiculturalism. You are trying to marry the feudal system of the North, the monarchical system of the West, and the Republican system in the East, to marry them into one. And what you have is entirely rubbish, and that is why Nigeria can never work. Not now, not tomorrow, not ever. Competing value systems. Nobody
100%.
wants their own value system to be subsumed under another person's value system.
Yeah.
This is something that the US ambassador never told you. But here I am telling you today. Because if you come here, you become educated. If you come here, you become enlightened. If you come here, you stop being a zoo animal, you become a human being. That is why we are the largest and, of course, the most consistent broadcasting platform insofar as Africa is concerned, right across the world. Millions listen to us because they know we preach the truth, the whole truth and nothing but the truth. That is why this very day, because you are in one Nigeria, in multiculturalism, the army will come to Olo to defend Fulani Janjaweed living in our forests. We went to Olo to defend our people. They came, they arrested the clerics. Men of God, they arrested all of them. How many times have you heard that imams were being arrested in the north?
For where?
Or that villages were being invaded in the north and imams being arrested? Only in Biafra land. And this is your multiculturalism. This is a place where you want all of us to stay somehow to pretend that all is well when we know that it is not. In that same Nigeria is where Fulani headsmen openly boast about conquest. Benue State is one. That is why I feel sorry for the idiots talking rubbish from Benue. They came and they made the same bold claim on Edo State. And I quote, "We will kill all policemen and take over Edo State." Vanguard publication of January 23, 2021, this year. Only 2 months ago. Nothing happened to them. Only the Fulanis can lay claim to land that doesn't belong to them and nobody will say anything. When you try to respond, they come against you. And your average foolish Nigerian who cannot reason properly, they're not educated very well, I'm sorry to say, will side with the oppressor. It's only in Nigeria where the victim becomes the accused. You came into Olo, Hope Uzodinma tried to give you land in Olo to build a Fulani settlement, and we said no to it. That's all. To talk about Olo crisis. And now they're trying to blame IPOB, they're trying to blame Eastern Security Network. But all of you are aware of the fact that Nigeria Army and Nigeria Police are essentially Fulani Janjaweed terrorists in uniform.
Yeah.
The newspapers, all the articles, everywhere, the national discourse is replete with instances of Fulani being supplied by the military, as you're going to listen to later on. But nothing happens. When you try to fight back, you become the victim. And we are saying we are fed up of being victims. We can no longer be victims anymore. If you kill us, we will kill you. I'm saying it live on video, so you can share the video all over the world if you want. If you come to our land to kill us, we will kill you. As simple as that. It may take us some time, but eventually we'll overwhelm you. Well, in the end, we always win. As I warned them in Benue, we are in Benue. In all of our communities in Benue State, and we're not living there until we are certain that the lives and properties of our people there are firmly secured. Any day we learn to stop blaming the victims, this world will be a better place. I'm directing these very statements to the US ambassador, to the UK High Commissioner, to the EU presence in the zoo and the UN as well. I know all of you will do nothing. We are not Muslims, so you're not going to help us. That's obvious. We know that for sure. But we have something that you do not have. We have the grace, the might, and protection of God Almighty in heaven. And we know that God exists. And as long as He liveth, as my name is Nnamdi, my Redeemer liveth, as long as God lives in heaven, all of you can never triumph against us. Ojukwu said it before, and you said he failed. We know why he failed, because God said the time wasn't right. I want to show them, my children, what is called Biafra, that very kingdom. They have to fight their way into it. If that is the option you leave for us, then by all means, we'll oblige you. But Biafra must come, or we all die. It's as simple as that. There is no alternative. People must understand the rage that is boiling within us. You must understand how angry we are. We may look normal to you, but we are very, very angry, believe you me. And by the time we are done with Nigeria, the name won't exist. That I can assure you. You people are now beginning to see the type of madness that we are capable of unleashing. And more is coming. And I do not hide it, because you hate us anyway. This conspiracy against Biafra, for no reason, we've done nothing wrong to anyone. But you despise us and you hate us. You want us to die because God gave us oil and gas. You want to take over our land. It's not going to happen. And we're not apologizing nor begging anybody to please read this letter. They are raping our women. They raped our women. Did you do anything about it? They went to the UK High Commissioner. They were telling them, oh, we can't do anything about it. Rape victims. But you're doing something about defending Fulani. You are defending Fulani. But rape victims in front of you cannot defend them. And you're neutral. And you want Nigeria to continue. So you want me to stay in a Nigeria where my women will be raped every day. Nobody will do anything about it. And I'll be clapping for you. One Nigeria, I'll be clapping for you. Check it, mad people everywhere. People are insane. You want me to stay in a country where the Fulani police and soldiers can come and take our women, rape them anyhow they like. Even before they release them, they charge us. Do you know how much we have spent? We have spent nearly 9 million naira to secure the release of people who were abducted and raped. Victims of state crime. Britain didn't say anything. UN never uttered a word. EU, nothing. US, nothing. And you want me to be in that country? I think some people are mad. Very, very insane indeed. If you do not believe in what we are doing, then you better get out. We're not going to stop. God knows we can never stop until Biafra is restored. We are peace-loving people. We abhor death and killing of another soul. It's in our nature, that's how we are. But because of that, they have been coming and killing us all these years. We've kept quiet. They've been killing and killing and killing quiet. We have a case at the ICC. We have a case at Africa Union. We have a case at, what else again? Pending before the UN in New York. We've been to Geneva to tender our case. Before UN, till today, nothing. In fact, the more we complain to them, the more they come to abduct and rape our children, the more they come to kill us, the more they want to take over our land and our forests. And who told them that's going to be possible in our time? In a time, in a movement that I lead, you think you can come into our land and take it over? Oh dear. That means you don't know who we are. 30 pastors arrested for doing nothing. Have you heard about any imams being arrested in the north? No. Do you want me to stay in one Nigeria with you after this level of injustice? Is that what you think? No, it is not going to happen. Not now, not tomorrow. There are two things plaguing them in the zoo. Lies and deceit. If not for the coming of IPOB, of Radio Biafra, all of you would have lived and died in the ignorance that Ojukwu caused a war. That's what they were writing. Britain helped them to write it. Ojukwu was a rebel.
I think I will halt it here. These messages of Mazen Nande Kanu, sometimes we need to go back and touch it for us to know where we are coming from, where we have gone. Just like when he was speaking, you heard Mazen Nande Kanu mention numerous places where our case has been sent, even while he was there, under his command. Our case has been sent to Geneva, to United Nations, to Amnesty International, so many places. But none of them paid attention. Master Simon never came back and repeated the same thing. Nobody paid attention. So that is why sometimes when we see the level Nigeria is today and what is happening in Nigeria, you see that it calls for attention, for us to pay close attention. And when you hear Mazen Nanikano speak, you see on that angle, you see why I was saying that how I wish that Mazen Nandekano or Mazen Simon Ekpa is outside today with all those efforts. And this opportunity presents itself. And Biafrans are united on one part, the same way they were before. We would have achieved a lot. Because I know if Mazen Nandekano had been outside, we would not have the division we have today. If Mazi Samuel ever was outside, we will not have the divisions we have today. So, with all this effort that been made in the past, and today the opportunity presents himself, I beg everybody to pay attention. Forget about every anger in you, forget about your ego, forget about everything, and let us reposition ourselves in unity to make a great point. Every one of us at this point in time, there are certain things we must let go of. For us to position ourselves properly to have effect, to utilize this opportunity effectively, we must let go of the anger that drains us off. The anger that drains us, each and every one of us, no matter the group where you belong, no matter the angle you are, no matter your position, whether rich, poor, old, young, leader, follower, we must let go of the anger that drains us. We must let go the grudges that weakens us. We must let go the complaints that kept us stuck. We must let go as we are entering into 2026. Letting go, this is not betrayal. This is called preparation for what is coming ahead. Preparation, that is what it's called. Preparation. Because when a nation is about to be born, the people must first of all grow up. When a nation is about to be born, the people must first of all grow up. 2026 is going to be very interesting. There is light at the end of the tunnel. There is very bright light at the end of the tunnel. My people, hear this and hear it well. Biafra does not need perfect people. Biafra needs disciplined people. This moment will not repeat. This moment we are seeing will not repeat. The opportunity might not come again. Opportunity comes and closes. Doors opens and closes. Choose unity over ego. Choose purpose over pride. Choose future over fury, because history is watching. The world is watching. And generations unborn are dependent on what we do now. I pray that wisdom will guide every one of us. I pray in the name of Chukwu Okike Abiyama that discipline strengthens us. And may history remember that we did not waste our moment. My fellow Biafrans, we must stay awake and position ourselves for freedom, for success, and for glory. My beloved brother, Christian, if you're there, I think we've got to be rounded up now. It is, people are preparing for the crossover night, so I have to get prepared also for the crossover night. You know, we're going to cross over before you go.
Yeah, Brachus. Yes, that is true. That is very true. Yeah, so yeah, it's a valid point. You know, Mazinan Bikanu's his words resonate so well, so well. It's as valid as it were then and now, even moving forward, because everything it says is just is prophecy, more or less. So we thank you, Kokabama, for everything. People, we all have to, you know, keep our eyes open and watch, especially this move that these Fulanis are. They are so conniving. They are just they are so persistent and determined to impose this Islam and the Fulani from Sahel upon us. So we cannot give in at all. We just cannot. No, we must stay focused. We just have to. Now, obviously, I think it's clear for all to see that it's a Fulani government that we have in Nigeria.
Yes.
We know Tinubu had an agreement with that before they allow him to be there. That is why everything. I don't know how anybody can pretend not to know that these are facts. You know, Gumi is still roaming about free. Shetima is there. Matawale is there. All of them, and they've just created this. The guy said that these are. It's like he said, it's first batch. He said something like that. These ones are first batch. That more is coming.
More is coming. This is first batch. 812 first batch.
Okay, so before you know it, maybe they begin to distribute them in different places so that even as America is helping us to deal with the terrorists in the north, then these ones will either be in the southern part, you know, causing mayhem all over the place, you know. So people have to be very watchful. People have to be watchful to know where are they going. Who are these people? Where do they have to go? That is the challenge now that Southerners, all Southerners, even the Yorubas, they have to be careful. If they think that they can get away with it because they have Muslim or blah, blah, or because Tinubu, every day they will feel it. They have to open their eyes and watch.
Yes.
And they continue to sow this bad seed. This Fulani, they continue to sow bad seed that people are reaping all over the place. So they must watch these ones, see where they distribute, where they send them to. If they send them to the north to go and fight this, let them go and do that. Because you just said it, they kick against state police. How can you be bringing somebody from Kasina or this into Biafra land when he doesn't even know, he doesn't like the people, he doesn't understand the people, he doesn't know their culture, and it's all mayhem all over the place. So our people should be able to take care of our place, and they should take care of their own place. But the Fulanis doesn't want that. They want to shove it down your throat. That is what they do every day. And for them, they believe that whatever says must happen in Nigeria. If they don't, if it's not them, nothing else. If not for America again, if not for them, we've never seen it like this before. It was never going to happen. There's no time Tinubu government would have been able to go after this terrorist, if not for Trump. So let nobody kid you about that. If not for him, no way, absolutely no way. So yeah, we just have to be watchful and see what happens moving forward. Thank you so much, my brother Chus, and we will see again by the grace of God. Though I'm in a place today with 100% network guarantee, you know. It's so beautiful. It is beautiful, really. But we'll see how it goes, my brother. Thank you so much for your effort, and we'll continue to move forward. Thanks.
Thank you so much, my beloved brother. I appreciate you, and I pray that we'll see in 2026 in some hours to come.
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much, brother. I appreciate you. May Chukwu bless you, guide you, and prosper you more in 2026.
Amen.
And
you too.
Pray for every Biafran that is watching us here that have been with us Please, if you have not shared this program, share. It is very important. This is a very loaded program with informations. We have been able to touch so many aspects. My brother Christian have been able to open some hidden issues that we overlook. And that is what we do on this platform every day. We open up things that you ignore. Those little things that you ignore, that we come back to haunt us, we open it up. So please, as you join us, like this program and share it so that others can get this information in preparation for 2026. There is light at the end of the tunnel, but we must position ourselves properly. That is the message. So I pray and I believe that Chukwu Kabiama will take us into the new year and we will meet again by the special grace of Chukwu Kabiama. I pray also that our Supreme Leader, Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, will be healthy and he will join us into 2026. I pray that Mazen Simon Ekpa will be healthy and also join us in 2026. All our leaders, wherever they may be, I pray that Chukwu Kabiama will give them more wisdom, knowledge, understanding, strength to continue to fight on until we get to our destination. Thank you so much for listening wherever you join us from. I appreciate you all and I wish you a very wonderful new year to come. Thank you so much. Stay safe. Bye-bye. Bye. Bye.